Welcome to the Blackout Show, presented by the Guillen Grid, a show about the Chicago White Sox baseball, the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll debate what's working and what's not on the south side of Chicago. It's old school versus new school baseball. And most importantly, we're keeping all the receipts.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Tonight, not only is Jay here, but we have our friend and our awesome co-host of the show, Slavko, is back with us. He got so happy about this deadline, he had to join us tonight. So, Slavko, welcome back, my friend.
It's good to be back. Appreciate you guys holding it down in my absence. I am here just to yell at Gonzo for as long as this podcast goes on.
Wow.
But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to be talking about a exciting baseball team. And Ozzy's getting his number retired this weekend, so I'm fired up.
Ooh. And let's just lead off with that, Slavko, because we haven't had you in a minute. I haven't actually heard your sincere thoughts about Ozzy. I know how close you are. I know how close you are with Senior, and you're basically like a son to him to a certain extent. So, Slavko, what does Ozzy Guillen mean to you with his night coming on Saturday?
Well, if you ask him, he would say that I use his abilities as an analyst to parlay into a better job in my career and advancement in my career. But I love that man. Like, I love him like a brother. I remember one time he told me, he's like, I love you than my own actual brother. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. Like, your family is a little bit weird. But I love him. I love his wife. I love his family. I love Junior. The rest of the sons, the brothers, Osnay and Oni are good to me too. I just love their whole family, man. Like, they were here at the wedding at my house. That's how much he means to me. And I know this is something that's meant a lot to him for a really long time. To get that number 13 officially retired, it's long overdue by the White Sox. I'm just grateful for the opportunity that I had to work with him for however many years that it was, the relationship that we have. And I know anytime I need something or he needs me, we got each other's back. And it's the same deal for Ozzy Jr. and the rest of their family. So I appreciate everything he's done for me, just being a good teammate when we did work together. And then from there, just being a really good friend. He's just an incredible human being. I love him to death. So I'm very excited for Saturday. I'm excited to see it in person. I'm excited to celebrate with him and the family. Like I said, long overdue for the White Sox to not get rid of number 13. That's what he would tell you in their household. But to finally retire that number, I know it means the world to him. It's funny, like we talk all the time now that he's old. There's so many young people that don't know anything about like his playing career or even about his managerial career. Like, I think there's a certain chunk of White Sox fans, younger fans, obviously, that just watch him on TV and have gotten so used to Ozzy the analyst that they forget Ozzy the manager, and they definitely forget Ozzy the player. And I know some of the times I've golfed with him, like, people come up and say hi, like, oh, we love watching you on TV and you were such a great manager. And he's like, motherfucker, I played 20 years for the big league in the big leagues with the White Sox. What the hell? So yeah, all that to say, I love that guy to death. I'm very excited for him. And I'm very excited to be there to see it on Saturday.
And I feel like, with the home opener, with that news being brought to the fan base, like 2 months later, the White Sox are 18 games above where they were a year ago.
Just like we predicted.
It's only fitting, like, to go from that news to now, like, how smooth of a season it's been for the White Sox. Like, we can say now that El Chivo has been lifted, hopefully.
Whoa, that's easy. I wouldn't go that far yet.
We still got 2 months. We got 2 months to go.
just remember when you ask him about this baseball team, I don't know if he's ever said this on air, but when I've talked to him about it, and I'm sure Junior has said it and other people that have talked to him, they're playing good baseball. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is a good baseball team or this roster is a good team. They're playing good baseball. And that's really all you can ask for. It doesn't matter what's on the back of the baseball card if you're playing and playing well every single day. So I know we're about to get into the deadline, what happened, what didn't happen. I think pump your brakes. I would say this just to everybody in this whole fandom with the White Sox. Just pump your brakes a little bit. You know, they're overachieving. Yes, it's exciting that they're in first place. Yes, they're playing good baseball. Yes, there's a lot to be excited about for now and for the future. But as presented, this isn't a World Series contender, right? And there was not really anything on the market that made sense that was going to make them a World Series contender. So just milk this season for everything that it is, man. Just enjoy the ride. They added a few players that have a little bit of control. Like, yeah, they didn't make the splash some people wanted, but are they better, tomorrow than they were yesterday? Yes. They didn't give up anything of any real substance. Boston Smith is the best prospect that they gave up, and I know some people were upset about that. They didn't grab the catcher that maybe they wanted, but they aren't mortgaging the future, because I think that there is a self-awareness with this organization right now that they are above where they thought they'd be. They're ahead of where they thought they'd be, but they're still not there yet. They're not in the echelon of the Rays or the Dodgers, and a team like the Guardians that went out and did what they did, or the Padres. I like the aggressiveness, but they are in a different situation with where they stand as an organization. So I can't really be super mad at Getz for not making any big splash moves and giving up some of the prospects that they really like. What they did was go get some guys that help today, marginal increments. I like the Castillo trade, despite what he's done this season. He'll eat some innings. I just hope it doesn't turn into James Shields type situation. But all in all, it's a positive move. The team's playing well. As long as they keep playing like they've been playing, they're going to put themselves in a chance to win ball games, into October and hopefully beyond.
Yeah, and last show going into, a week out, we went over, what should priorities be, with what the holes are that are there. Jay and I thought, left field would be something worthwhile. Definitely a starting pitcher and a catcher. Jay and I thought that as far as the bullpen goes, we thought that can be handled internally. But we weren't, prioritizing at least that bullpen, but we wouldn't be upset if there was a move in the bullpen.
The bullpen stayed. I'm going to be honest with you right now, because we've been inconsistent slugging the ball, although we beat the hell out of the Rays, right? We've been inconsistent there. You've seen Colson Montgomery's OPS drop almost 60 points in a 20-day span. Like, we need a strength. I think going down the stretch, Getz wanted to lean on high leverage bullpen to get me over, because at the end of the day, the rotation is going to be a project. Oh, by the way, you didn't move Anthony Kay, you didn't move Fetty, so you Getz told you already, eating innings down the stretch so I don't exhaust the bullpen and my young starters who I'm gonna groom into being everyday guys in the rotation next year. We're not gonna have anything interrupt that. So I think he did a great job staying pat while still adding to the roster. It wasn't like he stayed pat.
Yeah, I don't think standing pat was ever going to be an option. I think they obviously went into this deadline saying we're not going to overpay for any rentals. Certainly, they had rating out of that top 30. Nobody wanted to trade Oscar Colas. Nobody wanted to trade Yoelqui Cespedes, like Mike Adolfo and Norge Vera. Like, where are all those guys now? What could you have added? What could you have added in 21? That maybe, the last 5 years of White Sox baseball looks very, very different. You got to remember, this team, they've lost 130 games the last 2 years. I know it's very unusual. Trust me, I asked the Texas Rangers. I know it's very unusual to just flip the script after 2 terrible years and win a World Series. The White Sox have an opportunity to do that. I don't think that they're certainly a favorite to do that, but I don't mind that they didn't make any splash moves. I would like to have them to been a little bit more aggressive. I don't know if settled is the right word. They kind of settled for Joey Bart. They kind of settled for Castillo when there was better starting pitchers around that were younger, certainly, and even cheaper as far as the salary. Although I think getting rid of Dominguez had a lot to do with that in that trade. Brazoban I thought was good. I know Gonzo's not pumped about the return on that or what the White Sox had to give up, but you're in first place. Like go get some help and win a division, but don't mortgage the future. So I think clearly the cost of what the White Sox really wanted to do was just too high. Whether or not that's a mistake, remains to be seen.
So I just want to say, like, the generalization of this, I felt the needs were met. We can go more into that, but again, you'd have to be, because this is an overpaid market at this time of the year. You're gonna have to give it more value if you're going to get aggressive, right? So let's just take it trade by trade and get into it. First one being right before Skubal was dealt. This was it. This is what began the trade deadline, and obviously we received Luis Castillo. And first off,
not we, the White Sox did. We're not on the team.
Yes, that's very true.
Are you serious?
So the White Sox, Slavko, a month ago, we had Elijah on, and we had some hypotheticals, and this Luis Castillo was one of the 3 hypotheticals we had. However, when our hypothetical included a contract swipe, essentially, and ours was Benintendi. However, in the real life situation, it's Dominguez. So,
which is even better because Benintendi's been playing well, and I think he's a great clubhouse guy. He's a veteran. He's been there. He's done that. I think the guys really like him, and he's proven to be valuable at the dish. So, yes, while it would be nice to get out of that contract, it was even better to get away from Dominguez. 1, get him out of your bullpen. 2, get rid of the contract. When I saw that the Mariners were, potentially going to be sellers, Castillo was certainly a name that that kind of jumped out to me. Obviously not because of the numbers he's put up this year, but because of the track record. I mean, and he's pitched in big games. He's shoved in big games. He's going to eat innings. Like I said earlier, I just hope this doesn't turn into a James Shields situation where he sucks, but he's going to go 6-7 innings. Like, we don't want that.
It could be like Johnny Cueto, Slavko.
Yeah, I mean, Cueto pitched his ass off for a good 6 weeks. He did the Matt Latos.
Out of Luis Castillo.
Yeah, he pulled the Matt Latos. We're gonna just milk every single everything we can get out of him. But
all 3 of those pitchers played for the Reds at one point.
I think I've never heard of a bad thing about Castillo as a guy in the clubhouse, as a teammate. Certainly the experience matters, and I know a lot has been made about Brian Bannister and the changeup and him kind of going away from it this year. So let's see if
which
all they need is 2 good years or 2 good months out of him.
That should be emphasized though, with
the changeup
with Bannister.
The velocity is still there. As far, I mean, it hasn't dipped much. It's the spin.
Movement is still there.
The movement's there, but the spin's not. And the changeup, for some reason, just not in the repertoire this year. So why that is, I don't know.
I just want to make sure for our audio listeners, again, the package was Castillo for Dominguez, Boston Smith, Nolan Jones, and cash considerations. And again, Nolan Jones was a waiver pickup, a little bit ago. And so was actually Boston Smith. That was a deal. Sorry.
Yeah,
that was a deal earlier.
None of those 3 players were on the White Sox in January, right? Of this year. So, or maybe Dominguez might have signed before that, but like a year ago, they weren't White Sox players. Boston Smith is the best prospect you gave up of all the trades that they made.
So
I think that's okay.
I want to say, and I would disagree a little bit by that with what you said with Boston, but again, it's subjective. It's subjective. So what I like Castillo himself. My only gripe with this is the money that was left on the board, because it's 12 million with 10 million next year into 2 million buyout. Overall, you're taking in 10 million next year for eating up his contract, essentially. So that's $10 million that's on the table to negotiate with. Me personally, if I'm taking on that money, I want to try to get a piece I can, develop, take a shot on, essentially. That's the only thing that gripe I have is because that 10 millions is on, like, that's where you can get creative as a GM, taking a shot on a guy in their system. And we talked about in our hypothetical, because I think I said I would take on originally in that hypothetical we had that I would take on not only the whole contract of Castillo, but I would take 2/3. I would take on 2/3 of the contract of Benintendi to get up that value to take a shot on a piece. And I brought up Juan Rijo, which is just a single A kid, right? But he's an outfielder that I just like that profile, that hitting profile from him. They have a left-handed pitcher in Mason Peters, who's in Double A. So obviously Mason Peters, you have to give up more value to get him. But what I'm saying, Slavko, is my gripe is that money that was left on the table. But that's just because I'm thinking a little bit ahead. As far as this season goes, I love Castillo.
You don't think Chris Getz and the franchise was thinking ahead with this trade? You think this is just a move for the next 2-3 months?
I'm not saying they were or weren't. I'm just saying, I would like to see him get a little bit more creative in the longer picture of this when he's making these deals. But I get what you're saying. I'm just saying what I would like to see is something coming back to try to develop, especially if it's offensive player. Because from what I've seen from this season, I'm liking what they're doing with Fuller. Like, these position players are developing. They
just drafted a shit ton of them.
Yeah. And
those are the guys. Like, ask yourself, if this trade was made in December, what would the White Sox have had to have given up to get Luis Castillo compared to what they just gave up to get him for this year?
And it's only this way because Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan are about to be debuting soon.
That's not the White Sox problem.
Right. And Seattle has to open up room in that rotation. So,
yeah. I mean, there was rumors about Emerson Hancock being on the table, George Kirby being on the table. Like, they're obviously loaded with pitching depth. So they were able to basically create a spot for Anderson in the rotation. You get a bullpen arm that is going to save you some money compared to Castillo's contract. Like, I understand why both teams made this trade. My point is, like, you can't say they left money on the table. That's just, I just don't think that's realistic. There's a reason why the Mariners aren't going to give up a guy like that.
That's where I would I know you mentioned about Gabe Davis. Like, that's a piece I would put in this deal instead, just to get more value out of it. But
the Mariners don't need a Gabe Davis. Between the pitching prospects they have close to the big leagues, plus what they just drafted.
I can't say that for sure because I don't know what their front office truly thinks about.
Exactly. You can't say for sure anything about any of this because it's all hypothetical. We don't know how people and organizations rank their internal prospects, what they have in their system. Certainly, I don't think that the Mariners are sitting there saying, like, oh, we're not happy with our draft class. There's a reason that they picked all those guys. There's a reason for everything that they do is because this now is a trade that they think puts them in a better position, one, right now for the major leagues, and two, overall for the big picture of their farm system.
I think it's writing on the wall too, just to stay with the Mariners for a little bit, because if you look at the year Andres Munoz had, it's not a typical Andres Munoz year. So they're going into
Cal Raleigh's got like a 590 OPS.
Oh, bro, he's been doo-doo. And they're going into it with the idea that next year you could probably flip those two for assets if they get back on track. You won't be able to make that decision this year because you won't be able to sell at their highest value. Like that period is already gone. I feel like Chris Getz did a great job with Boston Smith and Sir Anthony Dominguez. Striking while the iron is hot.
What is the point of this baseball values trade? What's the point of this graphic, Gonzo?
So I like
it means literally nothing.
I like the
here we go.
It means literally nothing. It means literally nothing. It means literally nothing.
I wouldn't say
go look at all of the other trades from today. Most of them were major overpays by the Dodgers, by the Rays, by the Guardians. It doesn't matter. This has zero context. This is an arbitrarily assigned value for X in a vacuum, and it has nothing to do with what else is related, pertinent to the trade, the rest of the trade chips. This is stupid. This graphic is stupid. If it's stupid because there are countless major league. Listen, There are countless major league organizations that make trades like this. That's a major overpay. There's a reason why. If it was a major overpay, they wouldn't do it.
No, I'm not saying I disagree with that, but I'm saying conceptually it has relevancy because they do look at the windows with the contracts and how that works with the years and how the overall contracts work. That is the front office side of it. I'm not telling you that I totally agree with that, this model. I don't, but I just like conceptualizing with the money side of it.
Okay, so what does it mean? What do you interpret from that graphic?
I mean, hold up. Where was I? Just had it. Oh, that was Elijah. Jay, where did you have it? Oh, there it is, Castillo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just showing you that, because we were talking earlier about the contract swipes with Castillo and Dominguez. But as far as this model goes, I was just showing there's nothing in particularly that I wanted to point out with it. I just wanted to show the similarity of where the contract value is between the two of them. And again, 7 million. I think I brought up the $10 million overall, which again, it's in the ballpark of that if you break down the money side of it. So when you're saying Slavko, like, as far as like, I remember you were just saying how, you when I brought up like taking a flip on a prospect, right? And you're saying, how do you know that they didn't do that? And I said, you're right. I don't know that. But hypothetically, that's where the negotiating is can I get them to budge on anything with working with that 10 million in value?
But you have to have a room for that guy. You can't just sit there. It's not a video game. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, I need one more piece. Like I need to get a lottery chip. Like I need a 19-year-old arm to just throw in a ball. Like you have to have room. You have to have a plan. You can't, that's not how negotiations go. They're not just sitting there like, man, I really wish we can get a little bit more. Like, let's just throw out a bunch of names and see if we can grab one more piece. Like you have to find a place for that piece. And then you have to have a plan for the development of that piece.
But again, that's layering the system.
All right. You wanted Helio Ramos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Yankees, MLB or baseball trade values, that account. Today, the Yankees acquired Helio Ramos from the Giants for Henry Lelaine and Caden Kent. This deal is rejected by our model as an overpay by New York. Do you think the Yankees are sitting there going, "Oh, the trade values account says we overpaid. Like this shouldn't." No, exactly. It's irrelevant.
I'm not saying that at all, and that's why I told you I don't agree with.
But then, what's the point of even showing it? There's no context to it.
Because I'm telling you, the money side of it is what's relevant here. So, like, all right, I am trying to find exactly because you brought up the Elliott one.
Elliott.
Ramos.
Rami Gonzalez. I miss him.
That's crazy though, considering the fact that with that graphic, you're essentially saying the White Sox are going to eat $6 million to cover innings the next 2 years. I'll gladly take that anyway, because that really cushions the development of what I'm trying to do forward with guys like Tanner McDougal, Hagen Smith, Noah Schultz, obviously, like Fetty, Anthony Kay, Luis Castillo. Those guys are buoys for the inning, so I don't have to tax my bullpen. A bullpen who could be a nice weapon in the fall.
So, like we were saying, Slavko, when I bring up the money side of it, they had him at a surplus of 9.6 million in trade value, right? And the Yankees gave up Henry. How do you say that? Lelaine?
I think it's Lelaine.
And they put his value at a surplus of 13.5 million, right? Now, Lelaine, from my measure of keeping up with him this season, he's probably their hottest pitcher in that farm system.
Okay.
So I can see Ben Hess.
What was that?
Ben Hess.
Yeah, look at his numbers this year. It's crazy. He's more productive than Hess has been.
Wow.
Yeah, he caught my eye just 2 weeks ago when I realized where his production's at this year. But again, a surplus of 13.5 million, right? That's relevant. It's in the ballpark. you're off by $4 million, right? That's why they're saying there's an overpay. Do I agree with that? No. Like what you're saying, Slavko. I think that's a
The
fair
Adley
price.
Rutschman trade is rejected by this same website's model.
Biggest overpay in 30 years, according to some.
No, that's a huge deal that I know. I'd say they got fleeced there, but again, we'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, let's get to the next one.
All of this is wait and see. That's kind of the whole point.
No, it is.
All right, what else we got? What else we got? Keep it going.
All right, next one is the Mets deal.
Don't show me any more fucking trade values.
We got 12 more, Slav.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna log out now.
Ejectocito.
So
all right, let's get to this one.
Brazoban
got thoughts.
Brazoban, we got from the Mets, and for audio listeners, they got Gabe Davis and Zach Franklin.
Gonzo, floor is yours.
Floor is mine.
Yes, tell us all about why this is a massive overpay and Gabe Davis is the best prospect in the White Sox system.
Wait, say that again?
Go ahead. Tell me your thoughts on this trade, because I know you love Gabe Davis and his 5 ERA in AA.
I do, and I'll actually allow Elijah to start this for us. So, at first glance, it seems steep to trade Gabe Davis for an elder relief arm, but honestly, makes a lot of sense. Brazoban comes with three and a half years of arm control and has been quietly excellent this season with the versatility to be a leverage guy, bulk guy, or opener. Good piece. So that came from one of our friends of the show, Elijah. And again, me personally, I released my subjective rankings of our farm system about a month ago now. Gabe Davis was my 11th ranked player on my list.
Ooh.
On MLB Pipeline, they have him at 19th. But again, I know Jay said earlier that it was put out there by sources that the White Sox weren't dealing within their top 10 of their own viewing of their own system. So obviously, Gabe wasn't a part of that, clearly. So again, if you're going to deal Gabe Davis, me personally, I mean, again, if you're looking at my side of it, I've got him near the top 10, right? I want to see him dealt for value. If that's package or not. I'm not saying Slap that straight up he's going to get better than Brazoban, right? But if I'm dealing that piece, I want to see him packaged for a better kind of what you were alluding to earlier. I want to see Getz being a little bit aggressive for that pen piece. Because personally,
but other people have to value Gabe Davis like you do, and clearly that's not the case. Otherwise, he would have been traded for somebody more valuable, or as part of a deal for somebody more valuable.
I mean, again, I don't think neither of us can say that he's not valued more than others. I think there's other deals that were made at the deadline that were package deals that a reliever like himself was included in, that I think he was better than that reliever. But again, I can say that, but that doesn't mean that organization, if that was even thrown their way of that said player, that he would be included in that deal, right? So I'm just saying personally, if you want that pen arm and he's involved, I want to see Getz being more aggressive, especially for, again, we brought the age side of this, right? 36-year-old after lockout, that's 38, 39, 40, right? With those years of control.
But he doesn't have a ton of wear and tear on his arm. He has been very durable and reliable. He's pitched very well. And you do have the control. It doesn't matter if it's a 21, 22, 23-year-old control. If he's in your major league team helping you in the bullpen for the next 3 years for cheap, it's a great trade. And even if, all right, what's Gabe Davis's ceiling to you? What is his ceiling? If everything works out in his favor, Gabe Davis is what?
Setup man. Setup man to closer.
So what is Brazoban right now? What is Brazoban right now?
I think just because of where our bullpen is right now, that he is a setup man. But I think in a true, legit bullpen, a contender's bullpen, he's like a middle relief guy.
Ain't that the same thing? What's the difference between that and Gabe Davis being a setup guy on a
Because of
major
that
league roster?
ceiling, developing to
In
that ceiling.
3-4 years.
Yeah, like
At
I really
least.
thought that again, if you even you saw the hypothetical of Grant Taylor getting traded for value because people want that Mason Miller deal, right? I'm looking at it like who can take that closer spot if that ever did happen, right? Obviously, the White Sox drafted the third rounder, Volchko, the college arm out of Georgia. Him and Davis were two guys I was looking at like, hey, these two can be developed to take that role.
Well, Volchko was a starter in college, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but a lot of people are thinking that he's
likely going to end up being a bullpen arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think you just literally told me that Oscar Brazoban is what you hope Gabe Davis would be at his ceiling.
The fact that you don't even think Gabe Davis has a future as a starting pitcher means that this is an irrelevant discussion.
Okay.
Like that, you're basically saying if everything pans out, he's a very good late inning reliever in the big leagues. At his peak, if everything goes to plan.
I'm saying though, with Davis, I want to see him packaged for more of a piece to being aggressive.
Buddy,
like,
if
pitcher,
his ceiling is a relief pitcher,
player,
he's not going to be added as a part of a big trade. Nobody's adding relief pitchers in the minor leagues as part of a package.
I put this in the chat. They dealt with who was it?
I ignore all of your text messages.
I clearly. Jay, while I look at that deal, you posted, what did you post in there? Was it Merkin's tweet?
Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on.
Look, the major league team got better, and the two best prospects that they traded were Gabe Davis and Boston Smith. How many people were talking about either of those guys at the beginning of the year? Like they didn't give up very much, and there's a reason they didn't give up very much. They made marginal improvements to the major league club because they didn't want to give up any of those guys that they truly feel strongly about. Like they clearly didn't feel strongly about Gabe Davis. They clearly didn't feel strongly enough about Boston Smith. When you need catchers and Teal is out and there's questions about his injury concerns, you go get Joey Bart. I mean, there's a reason that these guys were traded, and it's because the team didn't think highly enough about their long-term future.
I just want to cue up this Scott Merkin tweet while we're on the topic right now about the catching situation. Getz quote Merck got this afternoon. We feel like Joey and Romar are going to set us up for wins here when it comes to the month of August. Teal should be back at some point in September. So Getz isn't ready to slam the door shut on the catcher situation, even with the lack of production and attendance we've had down the stretch right now. Marginal, and that's
why they didn't make a splash for a catcher like a Tyler Stevenson.
Yes. Because that's not a marginal improvement. Because if you trade for Tyler Stevenson, 9 times out of 10, he's going to get a 1 or 2 year deal after that. That's the only reason you make that move. You don't pay that much for a rental catcher when you already got 2 under the age of 26 on the roster. It's just been a little bit turbulent with their journey right now. You just need somebody, a buoy.
I still feel good enough about Kyle Teal long term to kind of keep him as part of. I know you love your core in the future, and I think Beef does it too, like constantly updating the core of who's going to be in the team when they're competing in X amount of years, whatever. There's not enough that has happened to give up on Kyle Teal. I know the strikeout rate is alarming this year, small sample size. He's still young. He's still a top prospect. Or he was a highly thought of prospect, and they put some of their chips in his basket. So the fact that he'll be back in September, even if it's the middle of September, I think that means that they're going to give him the keys. And I think not trading for a better catcher than Joey Bart is indicative of their trust level still to an extent in Teal. And to that point, Caro and Romo. On top of that, giving up Austin Smith, who wasn't very far from the big leagues.
Yeah, so to wrap it up with what I was saying, Slavko, I know you mentioned the chat Soriano as a possible controllable asset for a starter pitcher. And one of those assets in that deal for him was a relief pitcher, which was Rivero, which was very similar to Gabe Davis. Now, again, I said I would rather him be packaged in a deal, not as the headline piece, but as a packaged piece. And again, a deal like that, though, you would probably have to include Billy Carlson, which obviously we know they wouldn't do because I am assuming Billy's in their top 10. But again, they wouldn't do that. So essentially, Slavko, you're right. It is irrelevant because if they're not going to be that aggressive for a piece that's in their top 10. So again, with what you're saying, it fills a need in the now of getting an arm like Brazoban.
So what was the Soriano trade? Who are you talking about? I mean, Nimala is by far the best prospect in that trade, right? So, I mean, he is a legitimate, like, I don't know if he's a blue chipper, but he's a pretty highly ranked top 100 guy, right?
Yeah.
So that immediately already trumps anything about adding a relief pitching prospect. Like what's it? Arjun Nimala, Eddie Micheletti, and Angel Rivero. Tell me, what do you know about Angel Rivero? Tell me everything you know about Angel Rivero right now. Go.
What I'm saying is in that deal, you would be replacing Rivero with Gabe Davis.
He's got a 1.4 whip in AAA. He's not even in AAA. He's in rookie ball. He's got a 1.4 whip in rookie ball.
Okay. Rookie ball.
That's
1.
the type
8.
of guy.
And what was Davis's ERA in
whip,
high?
Not ERA. I'm talking whip, not ERA. He's a 1.4 whip in rookie ball.
Yeah.
Not ERA. There's a big difference.
What was Gabe's whip in high A?
I have no idea. Doesn't he have a fucking 5 ERA in AA?
Double, not high A. You're talking about rookie ball. Gabe's high A stats. It was like a 2 ERA. Yeah, because 2 weeks ago, he was in high A. So what I'm getting at, again, you're talking about rookie ball. He's not even at high A yet.
You're making it seem like this Rivero kid is like a major part of a deal. He's the third piece.
I just said, what, Justin, didn't I just say? Gabe is packaged. He's not the headliner. I just said that.
Right. But your point is that they're not going to make a big splash because they won't give up a guy like a Billy Carlson, which is irrelevant. So, like, why?
I just said it was irrelevant, Slavko.
So then why'd you bring it up?
Because I told you they wouldn't do that because it's not in their top 10. They're not going to deal within their top 10. But I said I want to see them being aggressive, deal someone in that top 10. If you're Chris Getz, I think is inexcusable right now to not have an assessment of the guy. I understand the guys that were just drafted, right? You don't have an assessment of those guys. You haven't seen them on the daily and at the professional level. I get that. I wouldn't deal any of those. But anyone else in their farm system, I think
they would have to be a player to be named later.
Right. It had to be determined later. The class that was just drafted.
Right.
So, like, I get it. Like we should not run hypotheticals of trading Cholowski,
What
etc.
are you talking about?
Because again, Twitter's stupid. But anyways, I'm saying anyone that they do have an assessment on that is in their top 10, they should be aggressive on. It doesn't stop any other organization from dealing within their top 10s right now.
Yes, it does. Countless organizations. Everyone's on the Brewers right now for not making a splash for Skubal or a similar player because they want to hug on their prospects. This happens all the time. Chris Getz is not the only not aggressive GM out there. For years, people have been pissed at the Guardians. Cleveland fans have been pissed for them not being more aggressive. There's countless. I don't understand. Chris Getz doesn't have an assessment of his draft class. Yes, he absolutely does. Just because they haven't played in the minor league system yet doesn't mean that they don't have projections for what they're going to do.
And that's what I'm saying, though. Like, he should be, you should have that assessment and know from who's within your top 10. Is this a guy that we're going to actually invest, or is this a guy we should flip right now with this value?
I don't really
before...
know. I don't understand what point you're trying to make right now.
Okay, so I'm saying that he should have an assessment of what's in that system, what's in their actual top 10.
He does. They
Right.
have an assessment of what's in their system. They have their own internal rankings.
And that's
they
what I'm
do
saying.
have that.
I'm saying take the shot now while you can, and take one shot, an aggressive shot to build for priority right
for
now.
What? For who? Who was out there that you would really have been like, you know what? Yes, like let's take a shot at this guy.
And that's hard to answer because I don't know how, these other hold up. I don't know how these other front offices truly
I want
work.
them to be aggressive, but I don't know
Yes.
what that means. What are you talking about?
All right, so just take Liam Hicks, for example.
Okay.
Take
You
a
would
shot.
trade a top 10 prospect for Liam Hicks when you have what you have already?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving you a profile. Like
So Kirby and Hancock,
Mhm.
young pitchers that are controllable, maybe Soriano. Outside of that, like I know Detmers was a guy the White Sox fans really liked.
Casey,
I mean,
Casey
like-
mine got moved this afternoon too.
He's good. He's a UFA after this year, right?
I believe so.
So, okay, again, that's a rental. You're going to have to pay a premium for a rental,
Especially
and hope that
in
he can
division.
resign,
In division too. That's
which
why
is going to. It's a premium when you're trading within your division. They're going to ask for more than they would against a team from the National League or from somebody else in the American League. My point is, look, yes, I would have loved to have seen him go get Gosman, but he was on the White Sox were on his no trade list. I'd love for them to go get a Soriano because he's 27 and he's very good. There's a reason that those trades weren't made, is because either the cost was too high or that there was somebody that the other team really, really wanted that the White Sox didn't want to give up.
Yeah, and I know I put out there he didn't get dealt, but I would have loved to take a call and see if he was truly available, and that would have been Andrew Abbott on the Reds. Because
They're 4.5 games out of a wild card spot.
I know, but
despite how bad
week,
they've been.
All week there were several guys. It's just rumors, but it makes you think. Like I would.
Did
That's
Tyler
where
Stevenson get traded?
No.
Did Hunter Green get traded?
No.
Hunter Green may be one of those type of guys where, his ceiling is high enough, he's young enough that that's a splash that you'd make. There's clearly a reason that the White Sox didn't make the splash that a lot of people wanted. And again, like I said at the very beginning of this podcast, my point is they're overachieving right now. They are ahead of where everybody thought that they were going to be. Like, yes, you're in first place. Yes, you want to see them be aggressive, but you don't want to make the same mistakes that these organizations have made in the past by jumping all in too soon and trading the depth of their farm system or whatever. It's weird because I sound like I'm saying don't trade prospects, but I'm very much in favor of that, but it has to make sense. I am fine trading as many Gabe Davises and Mason Adams and Boston Smiths as exist. I'm not fine trading your top 2 or 3 type prospects. Chalowski aside, Billy Carlson, that's probably like where you start, where it's like, I don't know. Everything past that, top 10, just to arbitrarily say we don't want to trade our top 10 prospects, wherever that report came from or whoever that came from, that's just not how major league organizations really operate.
We just seen the Red Sox give up 2 out of their top 5 for Adley of all people in division. Like,
I mean, you saw some trade packages where teams gave up a lot more than what the Dodgers did for Skubal and for players that are not Skubal, right? So like,
well, look at what the Scrubs got on the return for Clay. What they had to give up for Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor. Yeah. So
I actually left.
I do like what the Cubs did, though.
I left you off the hook because last show, one of the controllable pieces that I had as targets that I think would make sense to be aggressive on was Heliot Ramos. Again, you went to the Yankees, and we discussed that, that deal itself.
Yeah.
There's actually a bullpen piece that I didn't think I didn't really think about. We can get to it later, but I want to start knocking out some of these other deals that were done by the White Sox first.
Well, you hold on, Gonzo, because you got a hard on for Helio Ramos. Let's talk about the right-handed outfielder that we did end up getting, and we traded your boy Mason Adams. So, I mean, if you're just tuning in, Brenton Doyle's coming to the South Side, one of my favorite players to watch. I know it's been rough for your boy the last couple of years, but, I mean, he's a really good outfielder, two-time Gold Glove, can slug a little bit, hit the ball over the fence. I feel like Chris Getz got his patience wore out with Austin Hayes being hurt all the time. And then the same niche and player, Everson Pereira, I know he had a legacy game last, what was that, yesterday? He hasn't really given us. Yeah, it was a legacy game. That was the best it's gonna get for him.
Yeah, it's a bad legacy if you get DFA'd a few days later, buddy.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. It happens, but I think Getz' patience wore out with the right-handed fourth and a half outfielders. So he went and bought low with. I'm gonna say buy low, even though we gave up Mason Adams, but bought low on Brenton Doyle. You got the control going in the future. Like, is a guy that could hit the ball out of the ballpark and steal the same home runs pitchers could give up for him. You just want to see that OPS climb up into the 690s to at least the 740s in a White Sox uniform. We don't need him to play every day. The platoon of Peters and Doyle going forward, that's just supply our outfield crop like the Jaden Fauske and the Prosick. We don't have to rush them to the major leagues because we got guys that can actually play the position, at least defensively. You just hope the bat stays professional. So I mean that was my favorite trade of the deadline, is getting Brenton Doyle, because upside we're talking about 20 home runs, 20 steals.
No, you're not.
Yeah, he's done it before.
Okay, number one, he's a Rockies player, right? So you got to look at his career splits home and away. He's got a shut up. He's got a 769 home OPS. His road OPS is 573. He has a 317 slugging percentage on the road in his career, not just this year, in his career, and a 456 slugging percentage at home at Coors Field. Okay, number one. This is Billy Hamilton. They've essentially added Billy Hamilton with a little bit more pop. He's a defensive replacement and a pinch runner. They gave up Mason Adams, who has obviously no room in any future plans for the organization. And who was the other guy? Who was the other guy in the trade? Mason Adams and who?
Let's see. Carlos Vilma. Never heard of him in my life.
Never heard of him. Doesn't mean that he might not be something. Fernando Tatis Jr. was something, but we knew who he was.
Dude, you're disgusting calling him Billy Hamilton.
Brenton Doyle is a late inning defensive replacement pinch runner. That's what they signed him for.
Who can also probably hit 20 home runs and 450.
No, he has hit 20 home runs. That doesn't mean that
Billy Hamilton has never done that.
That's fair.
I'll leave it at that. That's the other side of the bread to my sandwich.
He's obviously got more pop than Billy Hamilton. My point is, like, this is what they got Brenton Doyle for. Adam Engel 2.0. That's a great example. Maybe I think it's probably a little bit faster than Engel. But yeah, he's a Gold Glove defensive center outfielder. I mean, not going to wake up thinking about Brenton Doyle tomorrow. I'll tell you that much.
Wait till I win pick to click with Brenton Doyle. That's all I'm waiting on. That's all I'm waiting on. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Slavko's looking for his next drink. So
I think there's a skunk walking around over here.
He's in the 1,000-acre woods or what?
I really think there's a skunk walking around
actually
in my backyard.
Jay, I'm actually with you because I'm intrigued. I want to see what Fuller can.
I don't know if that's good or bad. Gonzo signed off on one of my takes.
Hold on. I literally have to go see if there's a skunk.
But Jay, no, I'm with you, man. I want to see what Ryan Fuller can get out of this guy, because again, he's done it before.
Wow.
I understand where Slavko's coming with the
and I guess Juan Diego as well.
Yeah, I'm interested in with what you said, but at the same time I understand where Slavko's coming from, because I always get weary with splits with Coors Field and away from Coors Field. But I want to see what Ryan Fuller can get out of Doyle. It is unfortunate though, because again, I know Mason Adams. I feel bad for the guy because before that arm injury, he was dealing. So he was an intriguing piece. I was kind of hoping that would get that debut last year, but he gets the arm injury, and the rest is history. And now he's dealt, to say the least. Next one up, RJ, was there anything else on Doyle?
Yeah,
We don't have to spend more time on Brenton Doyle, guys.
Yeah.
I just want to say I vehemently disagree with Slavko on Brenton Doyle. I just want to put that on the record.
What does that mean?
That means he's not Billy Hamilton, and he's going to do better than you think.
No, he's Adam Engel.
Better than him too.
Last deal of the deadline was Joey Bart, and then we saw Duncan. Is it David? Is that how you say it, Slav? I'm terrible with names. David. David departs. Bart comes in to run the show until hopefully Teal comes back. And then we already showed that. We showed the quote by Merck. So, what's your thoughts, Slav? How do you feel about him, offensively, defensively?
I feel what is that noise? Indifferent.
It's the skunk.
It's Joey Bart. He's not very good. It's a guy that they want to give some opportunity to, because Caro needs regular plate appearances in AAA. I'll tell you, when he was in the draft in 2018, I really wanted Joey Bart to fall to the Sox. Nobody won that year because Joey Bart went to the Giants and the Sox picked Nick Madrigal over Jonathan India. Jared Kelenic. I mean, that draft just sucks in retrospect. Logan Gilbert, that's a good one. But holy cow, there is just some bad players in that draft. And like the top 10 is embarrassing.
You said 18?
The 2018 draft, the first player that has more than 10 career WAR, according to Baseball Reference, is Logan Gilbert at 14. Brady Singer, Nico Horner, Shane McClanahan. That's it in the first round. That's all the players with the 10 WAR in the whole first round of the 2018 draft. Embarrassing. So, yeah, I mean, again, there's not much to say here with Joey Bart. I know a lot of guys wanted a bigger name catcher or more of a splash at the catcher position. Like we said, clearly they still have some faith in Kyle Teal. Juan Diego is always on top of it. You know, like it's a DFA'd guy for a DFA'd guy. Davitt came in, made his debut, and this is a nothing burger to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
That's good analysis right there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really add much more to it. I liked how you actually went into that draft class. I wasn't expecting that slow.
Well, I mean, I remember wanting Joey Bart so bad. Georgia Tech catcher. Any recent relevance to that? Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
3.
Like, clearly Joey Bart did not pan out. Everybody was making comparisons to Buster Posey that year in that draft class. That draft class is just hideous. I do still think Casey Mize, obviously, has pitched pretty well for the Tigers this year, and there's still a lot to like about Casey Mize. He was the kind of can't miss number 1 overall prospect, and up until he had the arm surgery, the arm issues, he was really, really good, and he's come back and he's been good. So, man, Joey Bart, it's a bust. But Jared Kelenic also in that draft. Ooh. White Sox legend.
Why are you even here? For what?
Just a troll.
You hate us.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Facts.
No, I do. I miss doing this. I miss chopping up with you guys.
So I just want, it's understandable, bro. Family's always first. I want to quickly go through the divisional deals real quick to see how this division
the Guardians
gotten better or worse. Yep. Guardians added Adele and also acquired Foster Griffin
and Nate Lowe. See the sneaky move, Nate like Lowe. If I don't know if you guys remember because you guys are getting old, but This time last year, the Guardians called up C.J. Kafis, and he was getting some starts at first base alongside Kyle Manzardo. Now, fast forward to this conversation, the Guardians traded for Nate Lowe. One of the few moves the Reds made this afternoon. They sent Manzardo down to bring in Nate Lowe. I don't know if you guys caught that. Like, that sends ripples because, man, they gave Manzardo every opportunity to be an everyday player at this level, and he just didn't pan out. I think if you're going to be a small market team, you can't be able to sit on your hands with some of these guys that you're invested to. You got to be fluid. And you got to be able to flex and move. Like, there's a guy named Foster Griffin who made the All-Star team out of nowhere for the Nets. Next thing you know, I'm getting a notification on my phone. He's going to Progressive.
And what's the difference between that and Eric Fetty? When Fetty came from Japan or Korea 2 years ago, and the White Sox flipped him at the deadline, Fetty was great that first half.
Yes.
I mean, the Cardinals went and they got Fetty because of what he did, and Fetty's obviously come back. But like, I think the Guardians did really, really well, and it's surprising for them to be this aggressive at the deadline. But I mean, props to them for being aggressive and for also, like, to your point, Jay, just kind of cutting bait. Like, you're trying to win a division, man. We can't. The Major League Baseball is not a developmental league, and this is kind of my problem with Noah Schultz right now.
Talk about it.
When you're in first place and you're trying to win a division, Major League Baseball is not a developmental league. The pros are not where you learn. It's where you produce. Schultz is not right now a reliable major league starting pitcher. I think they're probably what I think I pitched it to you guys. I think they should just piggyback Schultz and Fetty at this point. But I'm getting off topic.
No.
I think the Guardians did a great job.
You're on to something, because if I was the manager right now, if I was Chris Getz or Will Venable, I'm piggybacking him with Luis Castillo, because Castillo in Seattle has already been in that situation. And he could be a bridge to Noah Schultz. They've been piggybacking Castillo for the last 2 months. Now,
yeah, but it's because he sucked. I think the White Sox envision him as a guy who's going to eat innings.
Does Noah Schultz suck right now?
Does he not?
Does he not suck? Suck is a harsh word, but the reason I said that because he's the perfect candidate for that. You're hitting.
Who's got a better ERA right now, Luis Castillo or Noah Schultz?
That's none of my business. That's literally none of my business.
Obviously, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but
he also kept the Rays with 1 run through 5. So I don't think he sucks.
So did Anthony Kay.
Yeah, I'm not the one saying Kay sucks either. One last person we missed was the Twins picked up Hoffman for their bullpen, but that wraps up the division. Interesting seeing the Twins make an interesting deal there.
I still, man, don't count out the Tigers. I'm telling you, even without
Skubal and Mize,
I promise you, like, they've got some guys coming back that are going to get healthy soon. With maybe after today. Up until today, I've been telling everybody the team in the Central that scares me the most is the Tigers. I think it's Cleveland now after the moves that they've made, but do not write off the Tigers, man. Like, they've got some young bats. Max Clark, his first series was a slam dunk.
He's a dude.
Or a home run to be
literally
2 Chainz. My guy, 2 Chainz.
Out in Vegas.
Do not write off the Tigers. And just keep in mind, the White Sox are overachieving. They didn't make any big splash moves. They're 1 injury away from chaos. Although I'll give them credit. When Mooney was out, they held their own, and more than held their own. My point is they have a very slim lead on the division. They're probably not going to be a wild card team if they don't win the division, so you have to win the division. Do not write off the Tigers. Do not write off the Guardians. I've written off the Twins. Twins suck.
What about the Royals?
I plead the 5th.
Well, hold on, wait. I just want to. There's only one team coming out of the American League West. You can be a wild card team in the American League Central.
But you're going to have to win more than 85 games.
The White Sox are on their way. Yeah.
James Fox had a good tweet tonight about, I think if the Sox go one game over 500, the rest of the way, that puts them at 85 wins, and then I think everybody else would have to go like 29-20 or something like that. But yeah, he had a kind of good laid it all out for what would have to happen over the last 2 months. Do not write off the Tigers. I'm telling you guys right now.
Just to wrap this up, there was 2 deals that caught my eye that I would have been interested in, Slav. And first one was the Marlins picking up Victor Vodnik from the Rockies. I liked that bullpen.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of Victor Vodnik?
Nope. I'm not familiar with his game.
Yeah.
You should get familiar with the game.
You wanted him a 5.25 ERA?
I'm not gonna lie. If I would have got a notification that the White Sox got Victor Vodnik, I would be semi-chub.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
He's soon to be 27.
Yeah.
He's got a career 4.3 ERA.
In Colorado. K per 9.
He's got a 1.7 whip. I mean, K per 9 of 6.5. Am I missing something?
Yeah.
His stuff.
You got to see his
good.
Pitch. Yeah.
Does he get outs? Noah Schultz has good stuff too. Like, does he get outs?
I mean,
it's Colorado. You got to throw it away.
Pitching in Coors is hard.
So what about Brenton Doyle? Now you don't. When it's Brenton Doyle, you don't have to throw it away. But when it's
The jury is still out on Victor Vodnik with a change of scenery. I don't need to see more on Brenton Doyle.
The other one,
I know nothing about Victor Vodnik, but his numbers are not very impressive.
The other one that caught my eye was Dodgers getting Bubic. Yeah. Bubic.
I didn't know he was available.
I didn't either.
I know he's hurt, but that's like such a good Dodgers move. Like, in the NLCS in Game 6, he's going to come in and give you like 4 shutout innings or something.
I was about to say 4 innings of relief.
It's just such. They're just the best. They just do the things that everyone should be doing. Like, there's a guarantee. I mean, write it down. It's August 3rd right now. There's a guarantee. Some point in the playoffs, Chris Bubic is going to do something extraordinary for the Dodgers to help them win a game in a series. But again, the White Sox weren't going to get Bubic if he wasn't available, which I don't think I ever saw his name get brought up in any kind of trade rumors or anything. Obviously, being hurt doesn't help that. But like interdivision, the Royals would have had to have given, or the Sox would have had to have given up more than whatever the Dodgers gave up.
I don't know. They didn't really give up much for him.
So then why did this catch your eye?
Just the fact that they didn't give up much, and they got, I mean, before injury, he was fucking stud.
He had a 4.11 ERA.
No, I'm saying, well, like, my bad. Last year, what he was able to do last year.
It was great last year. But again, he's never made more than 27 starts. He's only made 27 starts once. Outside of that, 20, 0, 3, 20, 10, and 9 this year. So, I mean, there's a reason. And he is not young, if I remember. That's soon to be 29.
And they got him for a relief pitcher.
It's the same price that Cleveland paid for Griffin.
Would you have traded Gabe Davis for Chris Bubic?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because we need innings.
Luis Castillo is going to give you those.
We need more than one.
Schultz and Fetty are going to give you those combined. I mean, so where do we stand with this rotation right now? Sean Burke, Davis Martin, Anthony Kay, Luis Castillo, Fetty, and Schultz. That's your 5.
Yeah.
Kay's pitched well. Martin, I'm concerned. Sean Burke is a stud, man.
Yeah. I would have. I don't know. This is a part where, like, I know your mic is
out, Jay. We can't hear you.
I know you're buying, but I wouldn't mind being a seller in that stance, trying to flip Fetty and K for something.
Oh my God! Do you know what message that would send to you, your clubhouse, number one, and your fan base number 2. You're in first place and you're trying to flip guys. Like, what are you going to get for those guys that helps you?
I'm just saying I'm flipping for value, but at the same time, like I wouldn't stop with just Castillo as starting pitcher. I would try to get like,
I
Robbie
would have
Ray or
liked
someone else.
one more. Yeah. I was never really crazy about Robbie Ray. Soriano, Detmers, Gosman, I would have loved him. Obviously, it sounds like he just had no interest in coming to the White Sox.
You said Gosman?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, Foster Griffin to me is kind of surprising. I understand why the Nats did it, but like
even Bieber, I would have been interested in Bieber
mm,
because he's a weird outlier. When he's healthy, he's dominant. But then again, when obviously when he gets dinged up, he hasn't had a positive production season when he's ever been dinged up. But when he's healthy, he's dominant.
yeah, I mean, it's like it's so funny to me. Like people bitch about Luis Castillo, he sucks, he's old, blah blah blah. But like, then you want to go get Bieber, like his numbers are trash. I don't know. It was a good market in the deadline for sellers, which it normally is. There just really wasn't a ton of high-end talent available.
I want to ask you, Slav, because I'm not sure, how many more episodes we have down the stretch with everything going on in your personal life. But if I'm going to give you a hypothetical, right? If Noah goes off.
I don't deal in hypotheticals.
But I want to hear, let's just say, Noah's pitching his best ball down the stretch. Who's your top?
What does that look like?
I'm going to leave that to your imagination. But who's your top 3 going into a playoff series?
I mean, it just kind of depends on who else is going. Like leading into October, I think you ride the hottest hands that you got. Unless Sean Burke implodes in the next 2 months, he's your number 1. I think his pitching, he's just been so lights out the last 6 weeks, maybe plus. Davis Martin is trending in the opposite direction, but I would think if the playoffs started today, it's it's Burke, Martin, and then I think you can K or Castillo. You can kind of flip.
I would say Burke, Martin, Castillo,
or that's Burke, probably Castillo. The way I would.
Yeah, it could be that way because I would say because of Castillo's experience, you would probably be good having him throw after your best pitcher on the roster. But at the same time, Davis Martin ain't been that bad. He's just tailed off from he's came back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah. I think it also depends on who the matchup is. If it's a lefty dominant lineup or a righty dominant lineup,
Yankees.
Maybe
against the Yankees.
Probably Castillo.
Yeah.
As your 3, and then K as your 4. But then again, like maybe if Fetty and Schultz is this duo going forward, which I mean, it's certainly not confirmed. Like maybe Brazoban is your opener, and then Fetty comes. Like I don't know. I guess it just depends. I think ultimately, I just don't see it with Schultz. Not this year. Like I don't see him all of a sudden over the last 2 months just starting to shove and looking like Garrett Crochet 2 years ago. I think realistically, they'll go into the playoffs. Burke, Martin, Castillo, K, and then your opener / Fetty, and Schultz is probably going to be a pen owner.
Would you guys be okay if Noah? We talked about Gabe Davis, like what he's going to be at the top, the peak of his powers. Would you guys be okay with Noah Schultz being Mackenzie Gore? When
that would, let's see. I got to refresh myself
because I think Mackenzie Gore.
Stats.
Some of the stats are kind of messy, but I look at him as a potential like a solid 3 right now because he can miss a ton of bats. The whip is higher than you would like. Walks is a little bit higher, but he's gonna miss some bats. I think
he's actually got a career best whip this year, which is kind of crazy. Because his ERA is highest that it's been. I don't know how much the ballpark plays into that in Texas.
He's paid for all of his mistakes. That's it. All of the base runners that he surrenders, they come around to score.
I mean, he's given up 16 homers in 122 innings. Like it's not the worst. 1.2 homers per 9. I mean, it's pretty much on track with his career numbers. If Schultz turns out to be Mackenzie Gore, I mean, Mackenzie Gore was an all-star last year, right? Like
Yeah.
I'd be, gosh, that's tough. Like, it's tough to say I'd be disappointed with that,
Don't forget the
but I
E.
think
and
I
D.
think I'd be disappointed. I think I'd be disappointed if his ceiling was Mackenzie Gore.
Oh, wow. So is there any chance that guys like Noah Schultz and Mackenzie Gore, do you see them getting substantially better? Like, I wouldn't even say better.
I mean,
would say
Gore
more
is
efficient.
27 or 28 already, right? Like,
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
he's
mean-
27. I mean, Noah Schultz has way more room to develop and obviously fill
Yeah.
out in his frame. Like,
Oh, Jung Ho Lee's hit a second home run.
I said it last week, or sorry, last show, that if Noah is dealing, I want him to get a start in the postseason. Because
if he's dealing, sure.
if he's dealing.
If he's not, he's in
Um,
that Chris Bubich situation where you got to give me at least 3 to 4 innings of relief.
Yeah, because Slavko, I brought this up last show that I felt like it was, I don't want to say disclaimer with Cease in 2020, how he didn't get a start in the postseason, and
Yeah.
I felt like that could have been a great
2020
chance.
was weird though.
I thought it could have been a great chance to shake that rust off in October and give him, because like I told Justin, his first playoff appearance was in 2021 versus
My
the
name's Jay.
Astros. And we saw how that went. But I want to see, if he's dealing, I would love to see him get that start, because with how things are going and the trajectory we're going, I want to, get that rust off and,
It would be nice.
Develop this rotation.
It would be nice for him to get the experience as a starter in the major league postseason. No question about it. But if he's granted his last 4 starts, he's only got 2 walks. And I think he's hit 2 guys. So that to me is like number one is command of the strike zone more than I know he got shelled in Texas, right? He gave up a bunch of hits. Command of the strike zone has got to be like the first thing, because if there's something that's going to kill you in the playoffs, it's walking a bunch of guys or hitting guys, putting free runners on base, period. So if he's dealing over the next 2 months, yeah, I'd like to see him get a start. But it also just depends. Like if Davis Martin is first half Davis Martin and Sean Burke continues to do what he's doing and Luis Castillo pitches anything close to like what he's done in his career, especially in the postseason. I think he's got like a 2.25 career ERA in the postseason. You ain't giving Schultz the ball to start a game, especially with as well as Fetty's done, coming out of the pen, I guess, as after an opener. So it's an interesting discussion. I agree with you, but what do you have more to gain by giving him a start if he's still going to be coming out of the bullpen and at least getting you innings out of in the playoffs?
I mean, again, if he's dealing, man,
Sure, if he's dealing, but like
he might be that.
What track record does he have yet to do that? To say that he might?
I don't know. When that knee was looking healthy, he looked like, I mean,
he's shown flashes. He's shown
tough
flashes.
at bats, and I'm not saying he's going to go out there and be like producing like Burke is right now, but like I think he could be that second best arm if he's truly feeling healthy.
I think it all depends on how he pitches down the stretch, who the matchup is, and like where you're at. Are you going to pitch him if it's a game 5 in the wild card round? Like, is that who you're going to go to? If it's him or Kay or him or Castillo, like I don't know. Just I think a lot of it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But to your point, I think it'd be great for the White Sox, for Noah Schultz, for everybody involved, if he did shove for the next 2 months and forces their hand. In an ideal world, I think he is your number 3 starter in the playoffs. In an ideal world where he's figured it out, he's giving you 5 at least every time out, keeping the walks down, and he's striking guys out and missing bats. That's an ideal scenario. Then Castillo can be like, hey, we need you in a pinch, game 4, you're going to eat innings. You've been in this situation, like just go out there and shove.
Yeah. Well, everybody, that wraps up our conversation of the trade deadline, and we are going to bounce right into our upcoming schedule. So this series coming up is on the road in Boston, Tuesday through Thursday. That first matchup on Tuesday is going to be Davis'
favorite team.
Jay's favorite team is.
You going to repeat it?
Is facing Davis Martin and Patrick Sandoval. Game 2 is looking like we have Sean Burke versus Sonny Gray. And on Thursday, we are looking at potentially Castillo's debut versus Ranger Suarez. Jay, this is your favorite team. So how do you think things are looking in Fenway?
I think first of all, I got the Sox, the White Sox taking 2 out of 3 on the road, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, Sandoval's coming off of not pitching 2 years. We're in a situation to right now. The White Sox have been very ambushy at the plate. You've seen Benintendi absolutely bat flipping the shit out of some pitches in Tampa. We even seen Colson Montgomery get a hold of a couple baseballs, and he's been in a nasty slump. I feel like you could ambush Sandoval and you could ambush Ranger Suarez. Now it's going to be tricky with Sonny Gray because he's had an outstanding year, a really, really good year. And he's one of those guys that he's going to execute his pitches, and you're going to have to stay disciplined at the plate. That the game 2 is the one I got circled because you got your horse going up against another pitcher on the road that's throwing pretty well. I feel like Sandoval is going to be a piece of cake. Sonny Gray is going to be a little issue. And then Ranger Suarez, even though I got him in Dynasty, I feel like the White Sox could handle him. The Dodgers absolutely put a licking on him. He didn't even qualify. What was that, Saturday night? So, I mean, at the end of the day, though I like the White Sox chances on the road in Fenway. Just make sure that you be careful with Rafaela, Bill Contreras, and Caleb Durbin, because the Red Sox have been making opposing teams pay for their mistakes the last month and a half. Like we've seen the whole month of July, they were 20 games above 500. The last time they did that was 2013, and they won the World Series against the Cardinals. So this is a good test for the White Sox because you're playing a team that's been giving you the best brand of baseball for about a month. So this is a good barometer. I still got the White Sox taking 2 out of 3.
So you're not worried about Adley?
No, Adley's rehabbing.
Slavko, what's
Fun
your
fact? Patrick Sandoval, last time the White Sox faced him, he got shelled. I want to say, oh gosh, let me pull it up. It was 2023.
Yeah, I was about to say 23.
He gave up like 7 runs. 7 runs in 5 innings. Zach Remillard was the White Sox leadoff hitter.
Was that in
Anaheim? It was in Anaheim. Yeah. I remember this game because Sandoval, I want to say at the time coming into it, he had like a really good ERA. Like he was pitching really well. I know the White Sox have had success against him in the past. Obviously doesn't mean jack shit now, 3 years later with a very different team. I just thought it was funny that you said he's the one that is going to get blasted. I think the White Sox lose 2 of 3, but I do agree that Sandoval is going to be the game that they win.
Interesting. I'm going to go
road game, like tough series on the road against a very hot team.
Yeah, the Red Sox just swept the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. Like
the Dodgers stink.
Yeah, I know. And sidebar, I'm sorry. If you guys are looking at, if you're paying attention to Shohei Ohtani right now, he's hobbling around the bases. He is not healthy. He is not 100%. And Slavko, you talked about it earlier. Like the major leagues isn't a place for development. The Dodgers have had to rehab superstars at the major league level all year. Not just Shohei healing up. It's Mookie Betts and everybody. So we're in the dog days of summer, boys. And this is a good test for the White Sox in Fenway.
Winning this series on the road against a super hot team would be, to me, it would, I don't know. I feel like I say this like every other series, like, oh, this is a good barometer. They've had a pretty tough schedule here recently, and they've held their own. They've won some series against first place teams, playoff teams. Obviously,
we were supposed to get swept against the Yankees at the rate. We were literally to get swept.
And the sky was falling after those first 2 games of the series. Everybody's like, oh, here come the White Sox regressing down, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, the bubble burst. And then they split the series and they win 2 or 3 against Tampa. Like, if the White Sox win this next series against Boston, and then it's Cleveland right after that, right?
Yeah.
This is a really pivotal stretch. If you're able to come out at the very least 3-3 over those next 2 series, they're both 3-game series, right, Gonzo?
Yeah.
So you split 3-3 those next two series and don't lose any ground in the division. You got to feel pretty good about yourselves. If you can win one or both of those series, it'd be nice. But I think they probably lose 2 or 3 to Boston. They're just so hot right now. It's the pitching doesn't really line up in the Sox favor. Although I mean they do have Burke and Martin going, so that's good. But I think it's just gonna be a tough one on the road. But it wouldn't surprise me to see them win it. Like they just keep winning games that they really shouldn't, and they keep winning series that everybody counts.
Yeah, I think
Your guy.
I think the Red Sox take 2 of 3. I see the Red Sox taking games 1 and 3 and winning the White Sox winning game 2.
Against Sonny Gray?
Mm-hmm. That's just how I'm feeling. I just think we're going to hit the righty and then lose to the lefties in this series.
You probably had us losing to Nick Martinez, didn't you?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did. So Slavko actually gave me the nice tip of the cap with the next series because Friday through Sunday is at home.
I would never tip my cap to you, Gonzo.
Come on, bro.
Is the Cleveland Guardians. Friday night is looking like it's Messick versus Schultz. On Saturday for Ozzy's retirement, the pitching matchup looks like Kay versus Gavin Williams. And on Sunday, we are looking at a rubber match between Davis Martin and Joey Cantillo. Jay, how you feeling for the weekend series versus the Guardians?
I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. We're going up against one of the best left-handed pitchers in the sport, and Parker Messick to open up. The Anthony K start that Saturday for Ozzy Day. I mean, Jesus Christ, Gavin Williams, he's been on a heater. I don't know if you guys checked out.
He's got 5 straight starts over 10 strikeouts, right?
Just a machine.
Like, he's the only pitcher in Major League Baseball to have done that this year.
He's having an outstanding year, and the numbers don't really pop off as far as like ERA and WHIP because he's gotten roughed up a little bit, but the durability, the velocity, and he's been overpowering people. Like Slavko, 5 straight starts with 10 Ks. That means he's retiring 9 to 11 guys in a row at one point or another in a start. That's the only way you get those numbers. He's mowing people down, literally mowing people down. Gonzo.
And that's not necessarily true. You can give up a bunch of singles and strike out guys.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not.
Right.
He's getting rid of guys. The WHIP has taken a tremendous step down. I think the only game that I could just pencil in because I'm a homer and the White Sox are taking 2 out of 3. I think game Saturday and Sunday. Cantillo is the day that we should tee off. Cantillo is the day that we should tee off.
Is there a chance? I don't know how things shake out with Foster Griffin and his debut. I think it's probable that he'll pitch in this first series that they're in right now, and maybe miss the White Sox. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some shuffling because of Griffin. But it would be nice on Ozzy Day to get a dub.
I think Cleveland's taking game 1. I see. This might be cinematic, but I'm going to take a wild prediction here. I think the White Sox win on a walk-off fashion, similarly to what they did with the home opener when they announced Ozzy's numbers. So I think it's going to come down to a bullpen game, and I think they walk it off. I think the Sox win the game 2, and then Sox win the rubber match on Sunday.
It's got to be Colson to walk it off then. It's got to be the shortstop.
Oh, my God.
It's got to be Colson.
Can you imagine Colson hitting a 3-run shot off of Cade Smith?
That'd be amazing. I plan to be very intoxicated if and when that happens.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it Braden Montgomery walk-off.
Oh, Braden. Okay. Just like his debut.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
That is
the dreamers.
That is the schedule.
Just big storytellers over here.
We got picks to click to wrap this show up.
Dog, you can skip this, man.
OJ won picks to click last week with Chase Meidroth. He's picking Vargas as his pick. Jay,
What's the score? What's the score here?
that's what I'm.
I feel
looking
like
at.
I was on a heater, and then
No.
now I'm not, and I haven't heard
No.
anything in like weeks about. Oh, Slob, you haven't won. Something. I don't believe this shit. Gonzo's always fudging the numbers
So,
on these.
You've got
He probably uses the
4.
MLB trade values to figure out who wins pick to
Stop.
click.
You've got 4 picks to click victories. I've got
Okay.
3. I've got 3. Jay and OJ have 2.
So I'm in first place. You're right. Thank you.
Yes.
Actually, I'm right. Yeah, 'cause I know ball.
He tried to put
I know
the kibosh
ball.
on you.
I know ball.
So, Jay, Maedroth and Vargas are off the board. Who do you have?
So the smart pick would be
Just take
Murakami.
Joey Barton. Move on.
No. I'm riding with Colson. I went with Colson last week. I'm gonna stick with Colson. I feel like everybody talks about the right left splits. I want to see Colson against I don't want to say lesser velocity, but he's gonna have to stay heavy in the box this upcoming week. He's gonna face some guys that's really gonna try to execute pitches, not try to blow him away. So I'm picking Colson. I want to see if he's gonna take that level of growth. Because like I said earlier in the show, his OPS has dropped about 60 points. And that's not because, the slugging has stopped. He's just whiffing, swinging. Like Senior just said on the post-game show, he's swinging too hard against right-handed. And he's staying relaxed against lefties, staying closed against lefties. So that's the difference. Let's see if he make that adjustment. Give me Montgomery.
He'll hit a couple pop-up home runs down at pesky pole.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Slavko.
I got
strong enough
Mune.
to hit that triangle Fenway, though.
Yeah, I'm taking Mune. I think at Fenway he'll have a big series, and then hopefully against Cleveland at home he follows it up. So I'll go with Murakami.
My Majesty.
Can you imagine the samurai fight between him and Yoshida? Like, what if they both go?
Oh man! Speaking of which, I need Riku Nishido back in the White Sox like ASAP in the big leagues.
So for what?
For vibes, bro.
Oh my god! All right.
He's a vibes guy. I guess Brenton Doyle is gonna be the vibes guy now.
Yeah.
What a name, Brenton Doyle.
Yeah. Oh,
I was tempted to pick Doyle, but I'm gonna go Braden Montgomery. So
you're copying all my paper. Wrong Montgomery this week, pal.
Picks to click is OJ going Vargas, Jay's going Colson, Slavko back of the house is picking Mooney, and I am picking Braden Montgomery. So everybody, this is time of the show. We are closing with our remarks, and how we do it best is shout outs. So Slavko, our guest of I would say guest of honor. You haven't been here in a hot minute.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, this should be a lengthy one.
My shout out.
Timeless.
No, I don't have many people to shout out. I got to shout out. Shout out to you guys for obviously holding it down and keep your dedication to this is impressive. I know life gets in the way for everybody. Obviously, my life has changed quite a bit since this show started. I can't believe like how long it's been since this like conception, even like not conception, conceptualization. Since this podcast was conceived, it's been a long time. So shout out to you guys for holding it down. And shout out to all the dads out there, because being a dad's freaking awesome. It's hard as hell. It is hard. But shout out to the dads, shout out to my daughter, and shout out to the wife. Yeah, that's all I got. And shout out to Ozzy. Shout out to number 13 going up in the rafters, or I guess on the facade at the rate this weekend. I'm excited for that.
I thought you were going to shout out your fence, man. It's been holding strong with these storms coming in.
No, it hasn't. It got destroyed in June, and I had to rebuild it and fix it. We've been getting pounded, man. The south suburbs, wow. Jesus Christ. We are just getting shelled left and right every week. But we're holding strong. The house almost burned down the other day, but it didn't, thank God.
Oh,
I'm not exaggerating. Did I text you guys the story?
No.
Yes.
I don't think
I
so.
thought I did. Yeah, long story short, backup sump pump like start overheating and like choked up the entire lower level of the house. Jay, you've been at the house, like the basement, the laundry room, like the whole downstairs was like,
oh my God.
There was We thought it was a fire. Yes, I was on the phone sitting in traffic. I raced home from work. The power went out. It was chaos. Yeah, but thankfully everything's all good. Enough, Mother Nature. Fucking chill. We just got 5 inches of rain the other day too.
Listen, as long as Steph's art room is secure, that's all I care about. I want to make sure that she's happy and taken care of. Slav.
Yeah, these are the important things, not the nursery. It's the art studio. Yeah.
Oh, love it, Slav. I love it. Jay, what you got?
Yeah, shout out to you guys because I mean, at the end of the day,
Shut up.
As much as you people try to make me out as a Red Sox fan,
You people? What do you mean, you people?
You people are trying to say the Red Sox are my number one. I love the White Sox. I live here, and you know, even though this trade deadline was a little bit light for most people, and I understand why Getz did what he did. I want to give him a shout out because he stayed true to the course and he didn't let any you know, we didn't expect to be this good. He didn't allow that to change his direction. So, I mean, at the end of the day, being a White Sox fan, every trade deadline, we don't end up with a Ronald Acuna, a Shohei Ohtani, and Mike Trout, you know, any of that. But but it's good to, you know, I like the baseball banter and seeing everybody's point of view because we don't have any control on these moves. Like the best thing we got is a value system on the internet. So shout out to you guys making sure a trade deadline is always entertaining, no matter how much we acquire. But Gonzo, it's been a tough summer, to be honest with you. You know, it's been a lot of turbulence, but much like the White Sox, we kept going. We finished through the halfway point, above 500, still in first place, even with all the BS in our lives. So I mean, we're blessed on that front. Slavko, like it was great having you on, bro. Like I love when you hit the group chat and hit Gonzo in the face with a chair like it's WWE. I wouldn't trade this for the world. And I got cursed out this afternoon because I was saying the White Sox are going to be okay, even though we're only 3 games up in the division. I wouldn't have it any other way with you guys on the Blackout, you know, everybody else, Bad Guy Radio. We're all Sox fans at the end of the day. So shout out to you guys for making this season interesting, even though we were supposed to lose 100 games. And there are some people on this planet that took the under. Shame on them.
Playing with house money, man. Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoying the ride.
Yeah, so I'm going to shout out Slavko for not tearing my head apart completely. I was feeling it coming.
Just a little.
He
I definitely, like, the neighbors probably were pissed at some point when I yelled at you.
You're going to get an email for sure.
A sternly worded letter in my mailbox.
You better be careful. You're talking to a Fed. That's an easy noise ordinance right there.
Oh my God.
There's 3 cops to live on my block. I think I'm okay.
Not enough. I'm gonna shout out, you know, everyone that came to my couple shower with Soraya and I this weekend. It was hectic. It started hectic. Just driving out from where I'm at in Michigan to New Lenox. Right before we hit the highway, when I doing the oil change, I realized that the belt was weathered, the serpentine belt was weathered. So got that taken care of because I didn't want that to go out on the highway. So I was kind of uneasy about it at first, you know, because that could have been a shit show. But anyways, we got through the weekend, enjoyed time with my family. Don't get enough of it these days. And I'm excited 4 months to go for the wedding. Countdown begins. And this is going to, a lot of things were learned. I know I mentioned it to you, Slav, about a couple things I took away from the couple shower. So I'm excited for when the wedding comes. I got to get my suit ordered soon. And here on out, man, it's going to come.
I got
quick.
You on landscaping tips the rest of the way.
You know what?
I got you.
Actually, I'm glad you said landscaping because I put down some fertilizer before I left, and I saw we had some rain hit, you know, the area when I was gone. And mind you, Slav, like when we dealt with that heat wave before I left, like the grass was like pretty bare, like the color was off, and I'm like, oh no, man, this is gonna be rough. And I put that second layer of fertilizer down. The rain hit it, and when I came back, it was all like fucking dark green. And I'm like, my dad looked at the lawn. He's like,
best feeling.
He's like, my dad's like, what are we talking about? Like, you have the best lawn out of everybody in the area. And I'm like, Dad, listen, you don't want to know what it looked like before I left.
Mother Nature, man. When she gives you some water out of the sky, usually it's good for the greenery.
And that helps my water bill because
Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, so enough of me. Slavko, loved having you back. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching our trade deadline special. Next week we are having Jackson Scudder on. He's going to come back for the third time. I think, Jay, it's his third time, but
I'm going to pay him this time. Jesus.
Yeah. Our favorite, one of our favorite college coaches will be back with us. We're going to do a little bit of some trade deadline talk a little bit and then go into our farm system a little bit. So
I love to talk about prospects in August when the team's in first place. Yes.
You know, we actually didn't talk about the draft class, or we briefly skimmed it over, but we're going to.
Because they're in first place.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's time.
That's the reason.
We got to do our due diligence, take a little deep dive, and we'll definitely end the show talking about. Finish the show hopefully with a winning week of baseball, Slavko, because I know you weren't here last week, but we mentioned that these 2 weeks, these 13 days, this is the hardest stretch of the schedule is right now. So depending how they come out of it, you said Slavko 3-3 here on out with these next 2 series. That's a win. And I want to see some victories. I want to see some series wins because, again, the division looks a whole lot easier if you come out of these next 6 games in a winning fashion. So that's enough for the Blackout. Thank you for tuning in and watching the Blackout Show.